JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, man shot dead at appliance store in Montego Bay. 35-year-old Jermaine Cardoza of Assault Spring Address in St. James was shot dead during a gun attack at an appliance store on Barnett Street in Montego Bay yesterday. According to police reports, about 5:33 p.m., Cardoza and another employee were at work when a group of men armed with handguns entered the establishment and opened gunfire at them. Cardoza received multiple gunshot wounds to the upper body and fell to the ground, while his co-worker was hit in the left foot, hand, and abdomen. Both men were taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where Cardoza was pronounced dead on arrival, while his co-worker was admitted in serious but stable condition. The gunman reportedly escaped in a waiting motor vehicle. 2 live 9mm cartridges, 16 9mm spent casings were recovered from the scene. The Montego Bay CIB is investigating. District Constable charged with illegal gun possession. A district constable who was recently held in possession of an illegal gun has been charged. Nicoy Miller, 31, is charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. He is to appear in court on January 6th. It is reported that on December 17, the constable was standing at his gate in the Whitehall Avenue area of Kingston when he was approached by members of a police foot patrol team. He identified himself as a member of the police force when questioned by the cops. The police team then requested to see his firearm and license. It's reported that the constable handed over a firearm to the police team. However, checks revealed that the weapon was illegal. Attorneys question continued detention of boat crew in the U.S. Attorney at law Bert Samuels is seeking immediate answers into whether 4 Jamaicans arrested at sea by the United States Coast Guard were kidnapped under the veil of the Shipwrighter Agreement 2 months ago. His query has to do with the recent demolition at sea of the Jamaican registered vessel Lady Lala and the taking into custody of its 4-man Jamaican crew were yet to be repatriated, even after a judge in the Southern District Court of Florida ruled that their detention be terminated. The men, Anthony Clark, captain, Radcliffe Simmons, Howard Patterson, and Warren Rowe remain in U.S. custody. Addressing a press conference yesterday, Samuels slammed the government for granting the U.S. Coast Guard rights to mount a search of the vessel and for its subsequent destruction. The 20-foot vessel was blown up by the big, powerful United States, Samuels said. Do we make a formal complaint against U.S. for breach of the terms of the Shipwrighter Agreement? Asked Samuels, who added further that based on what has happened, should the Jamaican government continue having this agreement, or should it be suspended pending an explanation from the U.S.? Documents entered into court proceedings declared that on October 12, 2020, while on routine patrol, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Diligence detected a 23-meter fishing vessel approximately 126 nautical miles in international waters southeast of Kingston. The affidavit stated that the U.S. Coast Guard launched an over-the-horizon to conduct reconnaissance, observation, and assessment of the vessel. According to the court document, the men were unable to fully explain what they were fishing for, and that the vessel had little fishing gear on board, and that had no catch for the 7 days they had been out to sea. Further, the affidavit stated that Lady Lala was not broadcasting its automatic identification system, and that it was then that the Jamaica Defense Force JDF was notified, and that they affirmed the boat's registry and authorized boarding under flag state jurisdiction. It was noted in the affidavit that a search was undertaken and 21 plastic cans were found in a fish hold, 15 of which were full, and that in addition, when asked, the boat's captain, Clark, became nervous in his response. A narcotics identification kit test was conducted on the 15 cans, and all tested positive for cocaine, resulting in 150 gallons of liquid cocaine, the affidavit read, pointing out that the men and the vessel were then taken into U.S. custody. The court document mentioned that the U.S. Coast Guard requested to destroy the vessel as a danger to navigation, and that the JDF authorized the diligence to destroy the vessel. It was destroyed within 2 days. Attorney Bianca Samuels stated that having detained the crew for 17 days between October 11, 2020 and December 23, 2020 on the alleged basis of having found 150 gallons of liquid cocaine, the U.S. Federal Marshal brought the men before Judge Christis McKelly of the Southern District of Florida District Court. The judge then ruled to terminate the detention of all 4 Jamaicans on the basis that there was in fact no evidence of a find of cocaine and that it was merely gasoline, which had been misidentified as a drug in liquid form, and ordered that they be sent home to Jamaica, said Ms. Samuels. No charges were laid against any of the 4 men. She stated that the crew had made all necessary immigration and customs declarations at Port Royal on October 5, 2020, declaring its destination for Punta Fijo, Venezuela, prior to leaving for the open seas. Its mission was to purchase fish. The attorney said that the local Attorney General's department has stated that the matter is now a law enforcement issue in the United States and that it is not allowed to interfere with the judicial process of the U.S. They said, too, that since the men were acquitted and sent to U.S. immigration last Wednesday, they have not heard anything further from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs nor from the Attorney General on the matter. Sudden termination of temporary teachers problematic, says JTA. The Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, has taken issue with the government's decision to terminate the employment of some temporary teachers as of Thursday. JTA President Jasford Gabriel says the association has already reached out to the Ministry of Education to discuss the matter. Gabriel said the teachers who were given contracts for up to August 21 are being terminated without adequate notice. Our concern is really with these teachers that would have made decisions on this basis, that they would have been contracted up until the end of the academic year, and now they are being told that their services will no longer be required, he said. Gabriel says he would not have expected cuts at this time when schools are looking to resume face-to-face classes. The Ministry of Education said it had made efforts to provide additional staffing support for schools for the academic year 2020-2021. It noted, however, that the reopening of schools did not go as planned due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The ministry said, as a result, the engagement of temporary staff would not be supported beyond December 31. It said further reviews would be done for schools pursuing face-to-face engagement and the related needs submitted to the Permanent Secretary for approval. Health Ministry to recommend phased reopening of schools in January if COVID rise not extreme. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesi McKenzie says the Ministry of Health will recommend a phased reopening of schools in January if there is no exponential rise in COVID-19 cases. The government has been appealing to members of the public to comply with restrictions on public gatherings so schools can reopen. The Chief Medical Officer said getting children back into the physical school environment is important for their mental health. The impact of an entire year, for example, young children, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, that are being told that social interaction is not good. These are things that do have impact, and 10 years from now is probably when we're going to see the impact of some of these things. So there's an importance of trying to achieve balance. The decisions that we take are not easy decisions, and a lot of things have to be taken into consideration. So I think it is reasonable for us to try to get the children back out to school, but we have to be cautious, she asserted. 20 new cases of COVID-19 in Jamaica. Jamaica recorded 20 new cases of COVID-19 and no deaths over the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of confirmed cases across the island to 12,752, while the death toll stands at 298. The newly reported cases include 5 males and 15 females, with ages ranging from 17 to 52 years. Of the new cases, 8 each were recorded in St. James and Trelawney, and 4 in Westmoreland. None of the new cases were imported. 5 were contacts of confirmed cases, and 6 are under investigation. The country also recorded 46 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 10,207. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.